Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. Hey, look, we're both wearing the same color shirt. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Project Sapient. Midweek roll call, guys. We want to thank our thousands of listeners. You guys have made us the #1 law enforcement and military podcast on the planet.
Pretty cool.
Thank you. Pretty fucking awesome, right? Mm-hmm. Thank our supporters, HavokJournal.com, Gym Junkies, Vector Shields, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, which we have some footage courtesy of them, Eye Firearms, MA.com, ODKit.com, GunTrack.app, Houle-Law.com. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for supporting law enforcement and the military and everything that you guys are doing. So, Iman,
yes.
What are we doing for a midweek roll call?
So, I'm giving kind of the attaboy to all our law enforcement brothers and sisters who were involved in hours-long standoff.
Yes.
In over on 95 by Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Near us.
And it was a pucker factor, I'd say.
It was funny because I texted you the next morning and I was like, you know anything about this? Because I was literally driving by that like 3 minutes before the guy made the stop.
Yeah, I think you were asleep, and then whoops, all that shit in Wakefield happened, and I'm like, dude, just open up fucking any news network in Massachusetts and you'll see.
Guys, Live Boston 617 had a lot of great footage on this, and Live Boston is one of our supporters, so we put their picture up.
Yeah.
This is a takedown of one of the guys?
Yeah, one of the guys, yep.
So tell me about everything that happened. Pretend I don't know anything.
So this information was kind of piecemeal and whatever. Some of it from the news, others from other cops, whatever. So long and short is these guys were on their way to Maine. Well, before I say these guys, they call themselves. So what this armed standoff turned out to be was another sovereign citizens type movement. They're called the Rise of the Moors. We'll get into who they are and all that in a few. So they were on their way to Maine to train, which their training involves a lot of militant type tactics, guerrilla warfare type shit, stuff like that. So they pull over because in their mind, this is what I heard. If they go into a town or a city, then their laws affect them.
They're not violating federal law.
Exactly.
Or they're not violating Massachusetts law, because in Massachusetts you can drive through.
Yes. So that's why they stayed on the highway. So they had their own fuel cans. They were fueling up their vans that they were, I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 vans. But anyways, on the way up to Maine, a trooper sees in the distance that disabled motor vehicle, maybe, let's go check, see if they need anything, tow truck, the usual stuff.
Can I throw you off for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I didn't realize this until I heard it on talk radio the other day.
Oh, okay.
They were pulled over, blinkers on, fueling up their cars.
Yes.
They were 60 miles from their starting point.
Yes.
Why did they have to fuel their fucking vans 60 miles from their starting point?
I have no idea.
I was like, wait a minute. The guy was like, if I make any kind of trip, I'm fueling up where I'm leaving from.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk pulling over or fucking going somewhere mid-state. 60 miles. It's not like it was 600 miles. They're like, oh, fuck, we need to fuel up.
No, yeah, I have no idea. So
go on.
So trooper does what any other cop would do, sees disabled motor vehicle, goes to see if they're okay. Gets out of his car, then he starts noticing things. They got tack gear on, which tactical gear on, rifles, all sorts of armament, if you want to call them.
Were they slung?
Yes.
They were slung. Okay, so that
slung.
changes a lot of it for me. Okay.
So they were slung, and it turned into a shit show right after.
What does that mean?
ask for IDs.
Yep.
We do not identify ourselves.
So it was one of those.
Yes. So he knew right away, okay, I'm dealing with sovereign citizens, essentially. I'm traveling on this road, not driving. There's certain language that trigger us as cops, like, okay, little red alarms going off.
Gives me fucking Ajadar the brain, dude.
Yep, and it turned into the standoff. Now, supposedly, I don't know if this is 100%. During the course of the conversation, some of them went into the woods, and the trooper was like, oh, fuck.
Changing the circumstance.
I need everybody. So I know multiple SWAT teams showed up, state police, Wakefield PD, neighboring towns, cities. They basically locked down 95. 95 was shut down for several hours.
Both ways, yeah.
And even they got Mass DOT with their big trucks to block the highway, which is good on them in case shots are fired and bullets start flying, and at least they are able to
some kind of hard point.
Yeah, some sort of hard point to get behind or whatever. So it turned out it was 11 males. 2 of them refused to identify themselves. Even at booking, I heard they're not even identifying themselves. So that's a crime now. Yeah. So they post the names, which whatever. There's too many names, but there's 11 of them. And here's the thing: they're all within that military age.
I'm looking at the
males, right? One of them is from Detroit. Most of them are from the Bronx. One of them is out of Providence, Rhode Island. Another one out of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. There was a 17-year-old that was released to parents, and all the adults are being held on $100,000 bail. I mean, here's the thing. It's such a great job by everybody involved because they ended up recovering 3 AR-15 rifles, 2 pistols, a bolt-action rifle, a shotgun, and a short-barreled rifle. The group refers to itself as a militia, and they said they adhere to Moorish sovereign ideology.
Tell me about that.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of the Moorish sovereign citizen movement, if you want to call it, if that in reality what it is. So I found a couple of their in its own words from their doctrine, if you want to call it or whatever. So this is one of their excerpts. Your straw man is a non-living, non-breathing, fictitious corporate entity that has the same name as you except in all capital letters. It's ultimately a trust that is brought into existence with your signature. Lawfully, you are the executor, beneficiary, administrator, and a stockholder of the United States Corporation. All right, that's one. Don't fall asleep.
The stupidity is keeping me up. Go on.
All right. Political thieves, usually descendants of European colonists operating upon the American continent, have, by outright criminality, taken lawful leave and advantages of the usurped seats of government and have polluted the sanctity of their official oaths to uphold the Constitution and treaties and are unlawfully violating the natural people.
Can I ask you a fundamental question about their statements?
Yes.
I want to ask them a fundamental question about their statements.
What's the...
You're basically giving away all authority to anybody, right? Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving it away. What makes you the authority to tell anybody anything about any kind of continental... Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You're foregoing anybody's authority.
Yep.
But now you're saying, I'm the authority.
Yep.
Eat a dick.
So... more history, a little more history here. Mm-hmm. So Moorish sovereign citizens are closely affiliated to the Moorish Science Temple of America and trace its roots to the creation in 1913. And its founder, Noble Drew Ali, a.k.a. Timothy Drew. So some Moorish sovereigns are known to be affiliates of the national one. Oh, yeah. And in fact, the national organization issued a statement in July 2011 condemning sovereign citizen practices and denying any association with radical observers.
So that's good.
Moorish sovereign groups. So that again, it tells me that okay, some went to extremism,
which you have everywhere.
So he said more. So there's a quote here by Mark Pitkavich, whatever, a leading expert in sovereign citizen movements. Morris sovereigns citizens emerged in the 1990s on the East Coast when some people began to merge sovereign citizen ideas with some beliefs of the Moorish Science Temple religious sect dating back to 1913. So, I mean, there's history there. So
Sure.
I heard today, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly one of their things is they are the original inhabitants of America.
According to who?
To them.
See what I'm saying?
No, I know. I was like, aren't the Native Americans here forever? So it's like, okay, all right. So,
and the Native Americans were South Americans that migrated forward. I mean, let's pull at straws. Go on more.
So, so there's so much out there. Again, people read about your enemy, right? Read about these people.
Yep.
We just did an episode about why it's important to know what the hell is going on.
That's going to come out after they hear this. So be on the fucking lookout for that one.
So there's a book written by that was published in 1993 by Empress of Wichita Nation,
Empress.
Yes, Empress. Her last name is Gostin. I'm not going to even try the first.
Of Wichita Nation.
Yeah. So one of the things it says, one of her quotes is, "You can't fool a Wichita as we, the original Moors of a very long name. I'm not even try to pronounce it. We realize who we are and what we are doing in this land and how we have been preserved for what special purpose." There's more.
There's more.
But wait, there's more. My people were here when the white man came to this continent. There it is. Okay. Which is America.
Yes.
They were the Moors. In later years called Moors, from the land of Tamdor or Tadmor. Palmyra or Palmares, wherever that is. That I did not look. Other examples of the sovereign groups include Free Moorish Nation, the United Maushach Nation of Noors, Nubian Nation of Moors, and the Al-Moroccan Empire. These groups primarily operated throughout the southeastern and northeastern and midwestern United States. So, Moorish sovereign citizens espouse an anti-government doctrine in which its members claim to be a part of a sovereign nation. For some, identify themselves as Moorish, or something similar. There is a belief that in 1787 treaty, which is fictitious, between the United States and Morocco grants them immunity from U.S. law. Others, such as the Wichita Nation, may falsely claim to occupy the United Nations Indigenous Peoples seat 215, which there is no such thing. I actually looked at it. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And create their own birth certificate, passports, driver's license, and vehicle registrations. Sovereign citizens. But here's the funny thing. I guess during an interview, their leader was talking on the news.
Yeah.
He said, we are not anti-government.
Yeah. And, I sent that to you.
Yeah, and we support the Second Amendment.
Yep.
But here's the thing. You are anti-government, but also support the Second Amendment.
So it was propaganda.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, hey, weren't we just talking about propaganda?
100%. And I almost fell victim. Not that I almost fell victim to it, but it made me question things.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's good to question things. Obviously, we want to make sure that we're doing the right things. Right. But now you have a basis of knowledge.
Yes.
I just don't understand. Like, a lot of these people that have this whole sovereignty thing, you need to understand history, guys. Here's a history lesson. Here's going to be your TED Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Peoples inhabit an area. Then they either migrate, leave the area, or they stay there. They build their communities, thrive, or get taken over. It's happened for thousands of years. It's happened to the Lebanese people. It's happened to the Greek people. It's happened to the Native Americans. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to everybody. hate to tell you, that's humanity.
Yep.
So even if you were, all of this shit was true and you were the original inhabitants of the United States, guess what? You got taken over.
Yep. So here's, I got a couple more little things here, little tidbits of info.
Little morsels.
Little stuff. So since emerging in the 1990s, they have no known involvement in paramilitary training activities, which that has changed. They do, however, conduct training seminars and videotaped classes, which they have them on YouTube, look it up, that teach financial scams and frauds common to sovereign groups, sovereign citizens.
So what you're telling me is it's become a business.
Yes. Members also have been known to wear paramilitary-style uniforms with patches of Morse flag, which that's what that trooper saw. And to operate vehicles modified to resemble police patrol cars. Oh, okay, that's different. Moorish sovereigns sustain themselves by selling bogus legal documents, fraudulent auto insurance forms, fake license plates, counterfeit passports, and various other documents. They also save money by practicing tax avoidance schemes or tax fraud or all kinds of things. So it declares essentially in their doctrine. They incorporate themselves, so they're thereby allowing individuals to use themselves as personal assets worth tens of millions of dollars. More sovereigns have recently engaged in violent actions such as shootings, bank robberies, murders, and armed confrontation with law enforcement, which there are documented times where they did kill cops.
Yeah.
I forget. So I remember reading all the individuals involved in police shootings where police were either ambushed or whatever, and they had ties to these more.
Was there like an Oklahoma State trooper or something?
Yeah, there's a bunch all over the country that there have been. And more sovereigns have pursued more violent paths, participated in terrorist plots. In 1993, the only American-born suspect connected to a plot targeting United States, New York City landmarks, his name is Clement Rodney, including the successful bombing of the World Trade Center, espoused Moorish ideology. Oh, no shit.
No shit. Also,
members of the Liberty City 7 terror cell in Miami, Florida, adhere to Moorish ideology.
Really?
So, but here's what's funny, which is that's exactly what they do over our neighbor in Rhode Island. Federal, state, and local law enforcement have encountered more sovereigns committing wide range of minor and or white collar crime. They do a lot of house squatting, which is true, because if they find a house that is empty, underbank-owned or whatever, they'll take it over.
So, are they big in Detroit by any chance? They must be.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this isn't really about the Moors. This is more about the response that, I mean, it was intense, and I had my kit ready just in case we were going to get called because we're not that far away. Because it could have gone south real bad. 11 people, heavily armed, sovereign citizens, and thank God that trooper's okay.
And he responded appropriately.
And I'm like me and Pete were talking offline. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in court, because there's going to be a shit ton of case law that's going to come out on this.
And I'm very interested in it. I think we're going to try and get John Sheft after the facts come out.
Yeah, we'll try to get.
I want to get John Sheft on there again. I'm not questioning that these guys should have been taken down. I just want to see what's going to come out of this, given the current status of society and everything going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
great job to our brothers and sisters in Massachusetts for handling this with such restraint and excellent communication and ending it peacefully.
Could have gone south real quick.
Yes.
So good job, guys. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I want to thank our supporters, HavokJournal.com, Gym Junkies, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, Eagle Eye Firearms, MAODKit.com, GunTrack.app, Houle-Law.com. Thanks to our thousands of supporters. We love you guys. Stay safe.
Stay sapient.